I thought she got fouled. I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. A minus 31 free throw discrepancy. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes, but we're not. We're attacking the rim. And the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. So it's disappointing.
The Indiana Fever are falling apart without Caitlin Clark. And the only thing more talked about than their losing streak is Clark herself. And guess what? She isn't even playing. While her team chokes away game after game, Caitlin Clark is on the sidelines, animated, vocal, and fiery, turning more heads from the bench than the actual players on the court. The Fever just dropped their third straight game, and once again, it's painfully obvious. Without Clark on the floor, this team is lost. And even injured, even out of uniform, Clark is still the main attraction. Let's break down exactly why her bench antics are going viral and why they're the only thing keeping Indiana even remotely relevant right now. When you're a superstar, you don't stop being the focus just because you're not playing. And Caitlin Clark? She proved that on Friday night. From the first whistle to the final buzzer, the cameras couldn't get enough of her, pacing, clapping, yelling, even going toe-to-toe with the referees from the sidelines.
Our third quarter was really, really good. Obviously, if we won the quarter by 17 points, that's what put us in a position to have a chance to win. So essentially, we really played one good quarter of basketball and lost to the defending champions by 2. So I guess that's positive. A lot of ways to continue to get better.
While her teammates were on the court trying to rally from a 16-point hole, Clark was the most energized person in the building, barking encouragement, jumping up after baskets, and visibly showing frustration at blown calls. Let's be real, fans weren't tuning in to watch the Fever's backup guard struggle. They were watching Caitlin Clark. And the internet lit up not because of the Fever's fight or Dewana Bonner's late threes, but because of Clark's reactions to every big moment. Even injured, even benched, Caitlin Clark is the heartbeat of this franchise. And honestly, the heartbeat of the entire WNBA right now. 3 straight losses, a 2-4 record after a promising start, another home loss to a team that hadn't even won a game this season. The Fever without Caitlin Clark aren't just struggling, they're imploding. This isn't about effort or bad luck. This is about reality. Clark isn't just the best player on the team. She's the floor general, the shot creator, the emotional leader, the anchor. And without her, this team has no identity. Sure, they made a nice fourth quarter run. Sure, they took a brief lead.
Plus side, you could say you're 2 possessions away from being 4-0 in these games. Do you look at it from both sides? Like, here are the positives of this, and then here are the things we really want to work on.
Yeah, and that's probably what's frustrating about it, too, is we are 2 possessions from being 4-0, but there was so many little areas in this game that we could have improved. Like, our defense, again, to start the game was poor. And we got to find a way to come out with more energy, being able to guard. And yes, they present a very tough challenge when all 5 of them can make threes and, they're setting inverted ball screens, things like that. It's a challenge, but you got to find a way to do it.
But when it mattered most, no execution, no composure, no clutch shot making, and no Clark to bail them out. Kelsey Mitchell's final shot, a desperate off-balance airball, wasn't just a bad look. It was a metaphor for what this team looks like without its star, panicked and hopeless. Clark's absence doesn't just make the Fever worse, it exposes them as a team built entirely around her. Take her away and you see the cracks. And the scary part? She's not coming back tomorrow. This team has to survive without her. And right now, survival looks unlikely. Let's be brutally honest. When bench reactions are the biggest highlight of the night, that tells you everything you need to know about the current state of the Indiana Fever and the WNBA at large. While the team was out there grinding through a brutal back-and-forth game, social media wasn't buzzing about the comeback attempt, the late threes, or even the final shot attempt. No, it was buzzing about Caitlin Clark, fully dressed in street clothes, animated, gesturing wildly, and showing more life than most players on the floor. Clips of Clark shouting at refs, throwing her hands up after missed calls, and hyping up her teammates went viral in real time. Fans weren't posting about who hit the big shots.
This was originally ruled an away from the ball foul, but It was obviously a flagrant foul. It really upset a lot of people, which really escalated the issue. And it was really just poor sportsmanship on Kennedy's part.
They were posting about how Clark reacted to them. It's not even close. Her energy from the sideline was the show. And this wasn't just Fever fans, it was casual basketball fans, sports media pages, and the entire online basketball community gravitating toward her. This isn't normal. No other league has their biggest viral moments coming from a player not even in uniform. But that's the situation Indiana is in. Clark's gravity is so massive even when she's not touching the ball. She's still commanding the attention, the narrative, and the fan engagement. And that's a problem, because it tells you exactly what you fear might be true. Without Clark, people simply don't care about what's happening on the floor. The actual game becomes background noise. That's how completely the Fever and the WNBA are tied to her presence. She's not just the face of the team. She's the entire story. What made Clark's sideline presence even more powerful wasn't just her reactions. It was how involved she was. Most players, when they're injured, they chill, they sit, they clap politely. Maybe they throw in some encouragement, not Clark. Clark was practically another assistant coach, standing up nearly the entire game, shouting out defensive coverages, talking through plays, giving refs an earful like she was still running point guard. She wasn't mailing it in, she was locked in. And that's leadership at a level you don't teach. That's the kind of instinct you can't coach into a player. Some players have talent, some have heart. Clark, she's got command. Even off the floor, her teammates fed off her energy. They played harder. They fought back from a massive deficit. They nearly pulled off a win they had no business being in. But that's also exactly why her absence hurts so much. When she's on the court, she's not just filling up stat sheets, she's filling the leadership vacuum. She is the system. She's the emotional leader, the shot caller, the calming voice in chaos. You can't replace that by shifting someone else to point guard. You can't replicate that by running a few more plays through Bonner or Mitchell. Without Clark, the Fever don't just lose talent. They lose their identity. They lose their spine. And most teams can survive a loss of talent. Very few survive losing their heart. The scary thing? Clark's leadership is so essential that even in a coaching role from the bench, she outshined the actual coaching staff. And the Fever, no matter how they try to patch things up, can't replace what she gives them on and off the floor. It's not dance around it. The Indiana Fever are in full-blown panic mode. 3 straight losses. A once promising season now looking like it's on life support. And Caitlin Clark? Still sitting on the sidelines, still weeks away from full recovery, and with every game she misses, the Fever inch closer and closer to irrelevance.
Brazil, their coaching had no answer whatsoever for Caitlin Clark. And they threw so many different looks at her. I've never seen a team throw so many different looks at a player.
This isn't just a rough patch, it's a gut check moment for the Fever and the entire WNBA. Because make no mistake, the clock is ticking, and it's ticking fast. The WNBA doesn't have the luxury of an 82-game schedule like the NBA. No, in the WNBA, there are only 40 chances to get it right. And when you drop 3 games early, especially to teams you should beat, you put yourself in a hole you might never dig out of. But here's what's even scarier. It's not just about the standings. It's about momentum. It's about relevance. When Caitlin Clark burst onto the scene, she wasn't just boosting her own profile. She was pulling the entire league with her. Attendance skyrocketed. TV ratings shattered records. Merch sales exploded. The WNBA finally had its superstar, its crossover phenomenon. Every arena she visited was sold out. Every game she played was must-watch TV. And now, with her stuck on the bench, the magic is disappearing. Fast. Ticket sales are dipping, TV ratings are falling, the hype is cooling off. Fans who came for the Caitlin Clark show are tuning out. Casual viewers who finally gave the WNBA a chance are moving on. The league is losing the buzz it fought so hard to build. And the longer Clark stays sidelined, the more the spotlight dims. Not just on the Fever, but on everyone. The Fever's collapse without Clark isn't just a team issue, it's a league-wide crisis. Because without her, the WNBA isn't generating the kind of mainstream attention it needs to survive in a saturated sports market. Clark wasn't just carrying the Fever, she was carrying the WNBA brand. And now, that brand is wobbling. And let's not ignore the long-term risk. If Clark isn't handled properly, if they rush her back too soon and she suffers a setback, or worse, a major injury, this situation goes from bad to catastrophic. The Fever's dreams of contention? Gone. The WNBA's growth trajectory? Stalled. The new fans, the sold-out crowds, the national buzz? History. And even if she does return healthy, the damage might already be done. Because attention is a fickle thing. Momentum is hard to rebuild once it's lost. And once fans move on, once the narrative dies down, it's nearly impossible to reignite that spark. That's what the Fever are gambling with right now. Every loss without Clark chips away at the credibility they built. Every empty seat, every low-rated broadcast, every lost headline is a reminder. Without Caitlin Clark, the Fever aren't just struggling to win games, and they're struggling to matter. The reality is brutal. No Caitlin Clark, no Indiana Fever. And maybe even worse, no Caitlin Clark, no WNBA momentum. That's the dangerous, undeniable truth the league and the team are being forced to face, right now in real time, with the whole world watching them sink without their superstar savior.